we spend 80% of our time inside. And it's so vitally important that our home supports us and that when we step into it, our spirits rise and it's set up for the energy to flow. When we spend that amount of time, it's vital. So our home really is a reflection of how we feel internally. And it really is a reflection, if I walk into somebody's home, I can tell so much of what's going on in their life just from how the home is set up, looking at the artwork, and of course, feeling into the energy of the space. So I would love to share with you today how to set up our home, one, for self-love and really stepping more deeply into that. Like the moment we're born, we are completely connected with source, and we always are, but we know we're unconditional love, right? The moment we come out of the womb, it's just like, we cry and if we're cold or we're hungry, and we just have this deep innate sense of trust that we will always be taken care of. And then things happen through our lives that take us away from knowing that we are loved unconditionally. And, so much of that, the work is that, like connection to source, knowing, and allowing that source energy to flow through us and to know that we're loved unconditionally, but also to give that to ourselves. So ultimately, it's got to start there. And we all know that. Because all our relationships are an expression of that or the lack of that. So how can we really step into that in our environment? So when we really become aware of our environment and create a space that is going to cultivate and support us to step more deeply into our connection with ourselves, with spirit, with that journey of self-love, right? So when we talk about these principles, they can support us to have that relationship with ourselves, but also to deepen our relationships that we're in with our beloveds, with our partners, with our husbands or our wives, our partners in life, but also in our friendships, in our community. And then if you're single and you'd like to bring in love, these practices are really, really powerful for supporting that. Because a lot of the time our home is a reflection of us being, if you were single, it's a reflection of that, right? And so the moment that we shift all that energy and be like, and of course we got to do our inner work. The inner work, there's no escaping that. That has to be done. And of course that is going to reflect who that, our relationships, it's going to reflect who we align with. So let's talk about things we can do. So we've already talked about how we spend up to 80% of our time inside. That's a lot, right? So the energy in our homes is either blocking us or it's flowing and it's supporting us. And it's supporting us to be in that place of love. So I always love to start with the bedroom. And there's some really simple things, because a lot of the time people that are in relationship or that are single or are not really in that loving relationship with themselves, right? They tend to keep things like the beautiful sheets and bedding or silk pillows or, whatever it is you love, whatever the fabrics and the materials that bring you joy. And they just use the old dull stuff, the torn stuff, the tattered stuff. And it's like, is that reflecting the fact that you deserve beauty and luxury and all of that whatever it is that feels loving and nurturing to you? So that's one of my top things is, the beautiful sleeping wear and the bedding and everything. Bring out and use that beautiful stuff. It's no use like stuck in the cupboard for when, it's like why not now, right? And then if we really want to represent that coming together in relationship, we want to make sure that the things in our bedroom reflect that. So a lot of the time when somebody's single, I will go into a space and there's just one nightstand. And that's kind of saying, well, it's just me. I don't need one for somebody else. But the moment we go, okay, I'm going to place one on either side, it creates this balance. But it also says, to our higher selves, to the universe, okay, I'm ready and I'm creating space. What's that saying? Build the village and they will come, right? So it's all about creating that space with who we are now, and then it's like calling in our future selves and where is it we want to go. And if that is, I'm single and I want to be in a loving relationship, well, start setting your home up for that. Or if it's, I'm in a relationship and it's not like where I wanted to feel, there's not as much romance. It's like, well, then create that space and give an opportunity, right? Because I go in and out of so many homes where the guest bedroom, there's one or two guest bedrooms and it's set up for the guests that come once a year or twice a year, but yet they would love to have a yoga meditation room, they'd love to have an art room, a music room, whatever it is, and it's set up for guests, and so it's really about, again, stepping into knowing that you deserve and setting up your home that is supportive of who you are and where you want to go. So it's this microcosm of the macrocosm. It's like this entire universe in your home for you to attract and align with that what you want. Now, a lot of the time I go into homes and people that are in relationships, there might be two nightstands and a small one and a really big one. Well, what do you think that represents? A real out of balance relationship, power struggles in the relationship. And so again, it's like, okay, well, bringing that awareness in of that. And then, it's not like, of course, you bring in even size nightstands and everything's perfect, but it's an awareness of there is an imbalance here, and how can we rebalance this? How can we create more harmony? Of course, the artwork is huge. A lot of the time I go in, I've been in and out of over 30,000 homes. I've been doing this for over 20 years. So I go in and out of homes and there's all this artwork and I say, tell me about this. And they're like, oh, I got it on sale, or such and such gifted it to me. And I'm like, well, how do you feel about it? I don't know, I've never thought about it, but it's like, it is time to look around your environment and to see what it is that's going into your unconscious, subconscious mind all the time. Like the artwork plays such a huge role on how it affects us physically, emotionally, and spiritually. So I'm going to invite you to look around your home, and is the artwork representing how you want to be in the world, how you want to feel, how you want to be loved, how you want to love? Is the artwork doing that? Or is it all single people? Or is, I've had all sorts of experiences. One of somebody who had just war and fighting, artwork all over their homes, and that's all they were experiencing in their lives. So this is about becoming conscious of your environment and what is in it and how it is affecting you, either making the energy flow or blocking energy. And I think we all want the energy to flow in our lives. I think we all want the energy to flow in our sacred spaces, in our homes, because when the energy is flowing there, it allows it to flow more in our lives. And just simple things, like if you're sleeping in a single bed, well, the chances of you staying single are pretty strong. So, at least create the space for that relationship. And same thing with couples, that are not feeling the romance that they do. And let's just say, there's kids' pictures all over the bedroom, or there's their friends, or there's in-laws, or, whatever it is. It's like, is that supporting romance? Having all these people gawking at you when you're in the bed? No, of course it's not. Like, nobody else gets to be in the bedroom other than the couple, right? No other pictures, nothing should be in the bedroom unless it reflects rest and romance, of course, because the bedroom is where we want to get our good night's sleep, to rejuvenate our bodies, and life is so much better when we sleep well. And then, of course, an act of self-love, a supportive love towards our relationships, is not having anything work-related in the bedroom. We don't want to have our office in there. And if you have to, and you're in a studio or something, at least have the desk clear. At least maybe get a beautiful piece of fabric that gets draped over. It's something that creates this. This is work life and this is personal life. And we don't even really want our altars in our bedroom. Altars, I'm a huge advocate. I have my altar. I sit with it daily. I create altars for all the points on the wheel, and they're so powerful. However, we don't want them in the bedroom because, we have these deities, and we want the bedroom again to be at rest and romance. And again, if it's the only place to have it, maybe there's little doors that close on it, or at least it's not in our view when we're in the bed, you know. And same thing with mirrors. We don't want to have mirrors in the bedroom either. It makes the energy too active. So let's just do a little recap so far. So we want things in pairs in the bedroom, nightstands. If we put one lamp on the other, we want to put one lamp on the other side. Artwork, really pay attention to your artwork. And what is it saying? What is it reflecting? And is it reflecting that what you're ready to align with in your life? Not having anything work related on the laptop in the bed. I mean, for beloveds in relationships, if one partner or both are on the computer in the bed, it's lacking communication and intimacy and connection that could be happening when you're just on screens, right? So if you can create some kind of a beautiful ritual up at the kitchen or somewhere far away from the bedroom area where everything gets plugged in to recharge, gets turned off. I turn off the internet in my home. So, you know, again, to support that really good night's sleep. So creating a ritual with that and some kind of a nighttime ritual. Right this time of year, I love it because the peonies are out and the honeysuckle, and these are and roses. These are all flowers related with love. So bring them into the bedroom. That just creates that energy of sensuality. And speaking of the sensuality, like, we want the bedroom to exude that energy of sensuality and romance and beauty, and that what you want to experience in your relationships. So if everything's very stark, what's that saying in the relationship? If there's piles of clutter, it's like, the weight of the world on the relationship. So clear out the bedroom, only have in there that which supports rest and romance. And another huge part of self-love or love and, you know, relationships is really healthy boundaries. And so that would make sure your front door is in good working order, you know, the entrance into the gate, into the garden, make sure that gate is working well, doorbells work well, handles work well, keys work well in the doors, because these are all beautiful, powerful ways to create energy flow in the space, and good, healthy boundaries. We want our home to be welcoming. We want to invite in, you know, our friendships, the love, the opportunities, but we need to have those healthy boundaries. Just like in life, when we need to show up and we need to be able to speak our truth and say yes when we need to and say no when we need to. And when we are in an environment that is really reflecting who we are, a conscious environment and where we want to go, we just feel so much more supported, right? We just feel so much more supported. And then last but not least, two last things, always clearing clutter, you know, so to support love, to support moving forward into a relationship, aligning into it, or to support your present relationship, clear out the clutter. Anything you don't love, need, or use needs to go. It needs to go, right? We want to let go of those things because those things hold us back, you know, things from past relationships. I'm not saying that you have to erase your past, just you don't want to hold on to emotionally charged things, or, you know, if you were married and you're no longer married, like what are you going to do with the ring? What goes on with the dress or the tux, or, you know, all of that. So it just definitely shouldn't be stored in your bedroom. Like, you can sit with that and see what is the best way to kind of open up your space so you can kind of really move forward. And then last of all, we really want to also, when it comes to the bedroom or anywhere in the home, we want to make sure that things are flowing. And in Feng Shui, we rather like rounded, softer shapes, right? Because our home already, the windows, the doors, there's so much sharp angles, 90-degree angles, right? So we really want to soften with curtains and round pillows versus square. Or if you put up a mirror, perhaps a round mirror versus square. We really want to make sure that we're not sleeping directly under beams. And if you are, you can always drape some fabric over those. So we really, really want to cultivate a space that the moment we step in, our spirits rise and it uplifts us. We feel, even better stepping in home, and we bring in the nature, we bring nature inside with, we open up and let the fresh air in, let the light in, and bring in the crystals. And the last tip that I will leave is rose quartz and green malachite are amazing for healing the heart and welcoming in love.